Howdy, guys, and welcome to night 13 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 24. And welcome to Cliff Notes. I hope y'all are doing okay on this Tuesday morning. Now, normally on a Monday, we've had the veto ceremony, the backyard is open. You tend to not have quite as much really strategic conversation going on. People just want to enjoy the backyard and all of that. Kind of the case last night, but because there's so many different alliances out there, we got a lot of conversations, people trying to find their place in those alliances, figure out who they can trust, who they can't trust. And we certainly had some of those conversations as well. So there's still a lot of conversations to be discussed that took place last night. Before we do that, just as a refresher, so, as I mentioned, we did have the veto ceremony yesterday. Michael ended up not using the veto. Not a huge surprise. We were wondering if maybe he would, but he ended up not using the veto, which means come Thursday, we're going to have Taylor and Pooch on the block. Pooch is a target unless something changes. Pooch is going to go home, and we'll be down to 14 house guests. Now, one little note, just for those of you who may not have heard it. Normally Thursday night's eviction, the live episode eviction night, not going to be the case. The episode's going to be on Friday instead. I'm not sure if they're still going to tape it on Thursday night. The house guests may not have any clue that's not live. They may still tape the episode on Thursday, but they're not going to show it to us until Friday. Maybe they could do it live on Friday, but I suspect they'll go ahead and tape it on Thursday so they don't mess up the rest of the schedule with nominations, veto comps, things like that. So don't be looking for Big Brother on Thursday. Now, the hard thing with that is that also means that from Thursday afternoon or so on until Friday night, we're not going to have any live feeds. I guess that means I get to take a little nap, but it means we're going to go 24 hours without any live feeds. So that's unfortunate, but hey, expect the unexpected. All right, let's talk about what happened last night while everyone was, I say enjoying the backyard. There wasn't a lot of people out enjoying the backyard. In fact, as I think about it, I feel like they were indoors the whole time. So maybe they didn't have the backyard even as much as I thought. Now, if that's the case, if they've already shut down the backyard, that tells me this HOH coming up on Thursday could be a huge set, something really fancy. Or we heard that little twist from Julie talking about the buddies twist and all of that. Maybe there's some other competition that's being built as well. We don't know. We'll find out now. We're not going to find out till Friday, but we'll find out a little bit later. But yeah, if they weren't outdoors, and I just don't remember anything last night where they were, something's going on in the backyard. All right. With that being said, let's talk about the conversations that were had. All right. Let's start off with Jasmine, Indy, Brittany, Nicole, Amira, and Daniel in the HOH. Because Jasmine has hurt her ankle, she's pretty much just staying up in the HOH, and so everyone else is gravitating up there as well. Now, short of a tie, you could have a 6-6 tie, at which point Jasmine has to break the tie. But other than that, now that the veto ceremony's been had, Jasmine's power is gone. She's a lame duck HOH at this point in time for the most part. But people are still going out there, still visiting with her. Jasmine kind of enjoyed being served while she was HOH. We'll just put it like that. I'm really curious to see how she's going to adjust to life back amongst the regular folks going forward after this next HOH. It's going to be tough depending on who wins HOH. She's going to probably be parked either upstairs the whole time or downstairs. We'll see how she does. We'll see. I'm curious how Jasmine would do if she was a have-not. Probably not her preference, I don't think, at this point in time. All right, but we got Jasmine, Indy, Brittany, Nicole, Amira, and Daniel in the HOH. They're debating whether they maybe tell Joseph and Turner before the vote that Pooch is the actual target, that Pooch is going to be going home. They're wondering if by telling the guys ahead of time, if it's going to make them feel a little more grateful, not so blindsided, if it may make it less likely that they would go after Jasmine or Daniel going forward. If one of those guys was to win the HOH, I don't think it's really going to matter. I don't. At one point, Nicole is saying, well, maybe we shouldn't tell them so that they all vote to send out Taylor, and it very much looks like guys versus girls. And maybe then Daniel still votes with the guys to send out Taylor and doesn't say that he's part of us. They came up with the whole plan. At the end, they said, nah, the votes are too close. Don't want to risk it. Don't want to take a chance with it. So the plan right now is to probably tell these guys at some point before the vote is had. But there's a lot of people suggesting and wanting to tell the guys in order to get in favor with them. So it almost is going to be a race to see who tells them first. Everyone in the whole house is going to know by the eviction what's going on. I just about guarantee that. All right. Meanwhile, while that's going on upstairs, we've got Monty and Kyle in the bathroom talking. Monty is saying that he already talked to Ameerah and discussed him telling Turner and Joseph the day of eviction that Pooch is going to be the one out. So again, they're upstairs talking about it. Monty's doing the same thing downstairs, saying, yeah, I may tell him just to tell Turner and Joseph, just, those are my guys, and let them know I found out about it. So they're not blindsided. Everyone's talking about that. All right. Monty wants to try to get on Taylor's good side. Now, that's interesting. Monty's saying, look, here's the other thing, Kyle. I think I may probably want to go ahead and vote to save Taylor, vote Pooch out based on what I'm hearing, because if Taylor wins HOH, I don't want to be on her bad side by voting against her and sending her out the door. I don't think it's going to matter at all at this point in time. Taylor's going to be gunning for Monty, I think, if she wins the HOH. She knows that Monty was one of the main ones that was probably wanting her out. So, yeah, Monty at this point can vote to save Taylor. He's voting with the house. Everyone's going to understand that. It's not going to make that much of a difference, I don't think, in Taylor's eyes. But he's trying to play the game. Monty is worried that the girls are no longer upset with Taylor. They've brought her in a little bit, and it is turning into a bit of a gender game, a gender-divided game. Kyle's confirming it without actually revealing that Alyssa told him that very thing the night before in the bathroom. He's just saying, yeah, I'm kind of getting that feeling as well, Monty. I think it could be the ladies versus the guys at this point. Well, he knows. Alyssa already told him that, but he's trying to confirm it without actually saying that. But Monty is also saying that if he does win HOH, he's going to go for the head of the snake. And I think he's talking about Ameerah. It seems like that was what the suggestion was. He and Kyle both feel that Ameerah is very smart, that she's got all the ladies tied together. And so Monty's saying, yeah, I'm going to go for her if I get it. Well, maybe that means that Monty's going to actually gun for an HOH. Well, just for a change of pace. You got to win it. You got to compete if you want to win it, Monty. And I haven't seen that yet. But he says if he wins, he's going to try now, he's going to take out Ameerah. We'll see. All right. Monty, Kyle, and Joseph are saying that they might be able to, still in the bathroom, I think Joseph had come in. They're saying, look, all these ladies working together, our only chance is to bring over Indy and maybe see if we can get her to work with us as well. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm really not certain yet on Indy. She seems to have a decently tight relationship with Joseph and Monty, so they may be right. But she also heard from Ameerah previously the night before that those guys had all said that Indy could be one of the first ones to go out the door, that they didn't have a lot of loyalties to her. So does she believe Ameerah? Does she believe Monty and Joseph? Based on that, it's going to be the way Indy goes going forward. All right, we've got Brittany and Joseph talking. Brittany did a lot of talking last night. Brittany is talking to Joseph a few times. And the first time she's saying that, look, Pooch is denying that he's in an alliance with you guys, and he's trying to kind of throw you under the bus, Joseph. And Joseph responds saying, well, we didn't really have an alliance, so yeah, I'm okay with that. And he doesn't seem upset with any of the information that Brittany's throwing out. Later, Brittany's talking to him. She's talking to him in the kitchen now. Later, she's talking to him in the storage room. Later, she's talking to him in the gym. And every time she's trying to make it out that Pooch is just, in fact, she used the words, Pooch is throwing you under the bus, Joseph. And Joseph is so laid back. He said, well, I get it. I see why Pooch would be doing it. He's on the block, okay, I'm fine with that. I understand. But Brittany is trying to give all this information to Joseph because she wants to try to build a relationship. She wants Joseph to feel like he can trust Brittany more than any of the other women, so that if he was to get HOH, or if any of the other guys were, that he could either control or have some influence and protect Brittany. I get what she's trying to do, but if you try it too hard, sometimes that'll come back and burn you. And it may have tonight, as we're going to talk about. All right. Brittany is hinting that if Taylor stays this week, she's telling Justin, look, because Justin, yeah, Taylor did such a great job of recovering from that first week, and now she's safe and all that. And Brittany's saying, well, if Taylor stays, it might not be as much what Taylor did as maybe there's some other people that are pushing her to stay. She's hinting at the women all wanting Taylor to stay and do some dirty work and all that. I'm not sure if Joseph picked up on that or not. All right, we got Jasmine talking to Daniel, telling Daniel that that she's asked everyone for the courtesy to not put her on the block until her ankle is healed. And Daniel saying, yeah, that'd really be mean if someone was to put you up before you're fully healed. That's not how it works in Big Brother. If you see a target, you go for them while they're weak, while they have disadvantages and all that. I get what she's saying. I truly do. But if you want someone up enough that you're going to spend your HOH to get them out the door, you do it when they have the least possible chance of winning and staying alive, right? But Jasmine is expecting that she should be able to use her injury as a justification for why she shouldn't be put up on the block. Well, if that's the case, she ought to be milking that injury for the next 6 or 7 weeks and continue to use that argument. But that's not the way it works. But having said that, I still think Jasmine's probably going to be safe for a few weeks. She's not the primary target for most people. She may be an accessory, a drag along or whatever, but she better heal that ankle up pretty quick. All right, we've got Terrance telling Daniel that if he wins HOH, he's putting up Turner and Joseph. That's who he's going for. Now, later he's talking to Monty, and I couldn't hear what he said, but I think the assumption is that he was telling Monty if he wins HOH, he's going for the ladies. We don't know for certain which direction Terrance is headed. He spent a lot of time up in the have-not room talking to Daniel and Nicole, since they're all have-nots this week. And it certainly seems like he is more towards the ladies' side, working with Daniel and Nicole, etc., and not with the alpha bros and all that. And I think that's the case. But right now he's telling Daniel, saying, "Yeah, Turner Joseph, it's easy. That's where I'm going." Later, we've got Monty again expressing fears of a girls' alliance, saying that he hears Taylor wants to make a big move and that his name has come up. Why, yes, indeed it has, Monty. Later, Daniel is telling Terrance that they were all down in the kitchen downstairs talking strategy and everything. Meanwhile, all the girls who've been hanging up in the HOH room all night long, they got the video screen. They can see everything. They can see the guys plotting downstairs in the kitchen. These guys need to be a little more careful. But anyway, so later Monty's telling Daniel, or later Daniel's telling Terrance that he'll let Monty in before the vote. And let me clear this up. Daniel is saying, look, after Monty and I, we all talked there in the kitchen or the dining room, and Monty's so worried about being blindsided. He said, after that, I can't let him be blindsided. So Terrance, the day of the vote, I'm going to bring Monty in. I'll bring you in and say, look, the house is flipping. It's Pooch going home. I can't risk my game by voting out Taylor, so I'm going to be voting out Pooch as well. He said, you act surprised like you didn't have any clue, so no one will accuse you of working with this group or whatever. And Terrance says, yeah, I'm good. So again, yet another group that's planning to tell these guys before the vote what's going on. Everyone's going to tell them. All right, we've got Jasmine and Ameerah talking. They're suspecting that Indy and Brittany might be more famous than they're letting on. Indy hangs out with Ameerah, who's a huge soccer player, apparently, and she's got some friends of friends that are married to famous people and stuff. Brittany, they're thinking that she was in some movies. She mentioned a few actors' names or something. So they're thinking there may be more to the two of them than they're letting on. All right, we got Brittany and Michael recognizing that there's this core group of Alyssa, Jasmine, and Ameerah that are working together. But they're also talking about how they can operate because they know they're not part of this core group. And Brittany and Michael are saying, what if we kept Taylor? Do you think we could work with her, have the two of us and Taylor? And there's later discussion with Kyle as well. Maybe, the outsiders. I think they even use that term. Well, we could work together. So they're looking at how they can utilize Taylor a little bit. They're also thinking that they can use the guys to take shots that they can't. So they don't necessarily want all the guys to get kicked out too soon. Also, they know they're at the bottom of the girls group. Yeah, kind of they're the group, but they're at the very bottom. Michael is telling Brittany that Kyle said he feels really comfortable with her. Again, they're going to try to approach Kyle also. Brittany is saying that the girls have the votes to get out Pooch. It's probably going to be a done deal. But Brittany also talking a little bit more about this Taylor situation, them trying to work with her. And they said, look, Brittany is in she's in with the girls, but the girls are just using Taylor. Taylor's not really part of a solid alliance with them. And this is while Kyle's in the room. Sorry, kind of left that out. So they're talking to Kyle. So it's Kyle, Brittany, and Michael, and they're saying the girls have the votes to get out Pooch. They're using Taylor, but Taylor really in part of that alliance. And Kyle at that point saying, well, do you think Taylor would work with us, being Kyle and Brittany and Michael? And they're saying, yeah, I think it's worth a shot. So we see this little group starting to form, potentially yet another group that could be working against some of the bigger groups. We do have Brittany talking about hot dog date. Apparently, Alyssa cooked hot dogs for Jasmine, and Jasmine got all upset that they were overcooked. And Alyssa said, well, you're welcome for me cooking your hot dogs. Thanks a lot. So Brittany's pointing out, saying, look, there's a little conflict between that core group. There may be some splintering on down the road. And it's just a matter of waiting them out. I think she says that there'll be some erosions. There may be some opportunities to utilize that as well. All right, we've got Kyle and Michael talking. Kyle's asking Michael if he's working with the girls. I think were they out in the, I don't remember. I was going to say, were they out playing pool in the backyard? I'll have to check that. Because now I don't know if the backyard was open or not. Some of y'all watch it. Tell me, was the backyard open? I just can't remember. Kyle's asking Michael if he's working with the girls, and Michael says, yes, sort of, but I also know that I'm at the very bottom of that group, so it's not like I really have an alliance with them or anything, Kyle. But later, Brittany comes in as well, and they talk again. Kyle's saying Pooch isn't really gunning for Brittany, and Michael says, yeah, once upon a time maybe, but right now they got bigger targets. Y'all would be safe if Pooch stuck around. So he's kind of campaigning for Pooch at this point. But Kyle's saying that after Pooch is gone, he might still want to work with Turner over Taylor, that he feels like he's got a more influence with Turner than he does with Taylor. So he's kind of presenting his side of it. But they're also all three wondering where Nicole's going to land after this week. And they're suspecting if one of the guys was to win the HOH, Nicole will flip over pretty quickly to work with the guys, that she's playing a bit of a floater game. Maybe, but I think Nicole's feeling pretty tight with the ladies as well. Not that she necessarily trusts a lot of the ladies. She certainly trusts Daniel a lot more than anyone else. But I think when it comes down to it, she'd probably be willing or wanting to work a little bit more with the women short term than with the guys. But we'll find out if one of the guys does win it. They are talking about Taylor and what a threat now maybe she's starting to become, that she's playing a much better game. And they're wondering who would put up Taylor at this point in the game if the girls aren't willing to do it. All right, we've got Terrence, Nicole, and Daniel talking. Terrence is saying he doesn't really like Brittany that much. He suggests, or he's saying that she suggested this marriage people alliance, and he just kind of poo-pooed it. And yeah, he's just not a big fan of Brittany right now. Now, here's where it gets a little tough for Brittany. Daniel is telling Jasmine that he saw Brittany and Joseph leaving the gym together, and he's worried that she's spreading too much information. They start getting paranoid. They're wondering if maybe she would flip the vote against Taylor. If Brittany votes to send out Taylor after all and support Pooch, then maybe they don't have the numbers that they think they do. So they're getting very nervous about that. Well, the reality is Brittany wants to work with Taylor. I don't think she's going to flip. That's not why she's talking to Joseph. But again, Daniel is seeing it a little bit different way. So now they're getting all nervous and paranoid about which side Brittany may come down on come Thursday. Nicole is also saying that she heard Brittany wondering if they actually have enough votes to get out Pooch in the first place. So again, they're all nervous now about where Brittany is in this game. Brittany is telling Taylor how much she doesn't want to lose her, how she'd love to work with her. Taylor is recognizing that the girls just want her to do their dirty work and that they aren't really as tight with her as they're conveying. Of course, Brittany's saying, no, you're right. You're right. So again, Brittany wants to work with Taylor. I think she truly does. I don't think she's just giving lip service to Taylor. I think she does, but Daniel and Nicole are seeing a different way. All right, Brittany is talking about how upset Jasmine was when Alyssa burned Jasmine's hot dog weenie. That she's telling this to Taylor. So again, she's trying to let Taylor know that there may be some opportunities for some of the ladies on the bottom of the group to still maybe do something going forward. All right, we've got Jasmine and Amira talking. Amira is saying, getting back to Brittany again, Amira is saying she just saw Joseph and Brittany in the storage room talking. They just don't trust her. Later they hear that, yeah, Daniel saw them talking as well. Brittany's doing a lot of talking to Joseph, and it's making a lot of people nervous. Amira is saying that, yeah, she also saw Michael and Brittany and Kyle talking. and they're wondering if maybe Brittany and Michael have a final two because they've been hanging out so much with each other. Why, yes, indeed they do. And yeah, that it's too obvious that they're spending too much time together. People picking up on it. So wondering about the final two that does indeed exist between Brittany and Michael. Amira saying not only Brittany, but I also don't trust Indy either. And she thinks that Indy could be working with Monty and Joseph. That remains to be seen. We'll see. It probably depends on who wins the next HOH. She certainly is tight with Monty and Joseph. But I don't know which way Indy's going to go, which is amazing because Indy pretty much says what she's feeling all the time. But we'll find out going forward. And then finally, we lost the feeds, I don't know, for an hour or so. Eventually, the feeds came back on around 3:30 or so, Big Brother time. All the house guests were in bed. So for once, they kind of called it an early night as they get ready for the eviction episode on probably Thursday. So we'll see a lot more campaigning going on. I think Pooch has seen the writing on the wall. I truly do. So I don't know how he responds to that going forward, how much actual campaigning will take place. Taylor knows that she's safe, but the ladies have said you still need to campaign and not make it so obvious. Once they're aware that Pooch and the guys know, we'll see. We'll see how much actual campaign takes place. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of conversations about plans and everything going forward after this next HOH. So it's going to continue, guys. But until then, y'all have a fantastic Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow morning to give you a recap on what happened overnight. We'll see what kind of crazy stuff happens as people start figuring out what the actual plan is for Thursday. Until then, guys, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.